Next game up, we got the Browns versus Animal Planet. Browns come in 5-1 off of a big win to Generals. Animal Planet comes in 2-4 off of a big overtime loss to Reckless. I think Storm should be up there for Coach of the Year. His team is 2-4. They're not playing the best, but they have been playing. They've been competitive this year, rather than getting mercy, being embarrassed last year. I think it all comes down to how he ends the season for him to get it. It's not all about having a first place team. If he can at least make them competitive and make them in the playoff hunt or sneak in and get the wild card, then anything can happen for him to get it. Reggie, on the other hand, his team is 5-1. They beat an IOD team who was undefeated at the time. You know, this Reggie's again up there to win his second Coach of the Year in a row.
Quarterback of the year, you mean?
No, Reggie has, I'm sorry, Jingle and Reggie. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Reggie right now has an opportunity to win Quarterback of the Year, and Jingle has an opportunity to win Coach of the Year, both of them back-to-back. Mm-hmm. And they also have an opportunity to add another award, which is Puka for MVP of the league. He's been playing the best. He was an all-star MVP last year. So this dude only knows how to get awards, it seems like. Because right now, he's running away with it, similar to Peyton Manning running away with it in NFL. Puka's running away with it right now. It's not over. It's 3 games left. Somebody can sneak up and take it. But right now, Puka got to be my front runner for MVP.
I mean, there's no question about it. He has kick return, run backs. He has punt return touchdowns. He has interception touchdowns.
And then he got catching to receiving touchdowns.
I mean, he's been doing it in
interceptions.
Every actual way that you can make points, he's made it. So I feel like at this point, he's been a big cog, if not the part of their team that's helping them win right now. And I feel like there's nobody actually next to him when it comes to him getting that MVP award. I don't feel like there's anybody touching him this year. So we'll see what happens in these next couple of weeks. But he's running away with it right now.
We're going to have to just jump into the game and see what's going on. Beto slots the ball over with a nice throw to number 7, wide open on the left side of the field. And then after that, he follows it up with a touchdown to Spaz and put them up 6-0. Way to jump at the Browns early. When you play the Browns, you want to attack them early. And that's what they did. 6-0 lead. Great throw.
I mean, it worked out. That was a nice pass to 7 to get the drive going. And then to find Spaz in the end zone like that. I mean, those quick points are something that you always want, you welcome, because it shows how off the team is. You get as much points before the other team can recover, and maybe you jump ahead with a lead.
Then after that, Reggie gets the ball back on offense. A few plays later, he's able to find Darnell to give them an 8-6 lead after the 2-point conversion. Great play by Reggie to find Darnell. Darnell's emerged as a big player. He wasn't as big last year, but he's showing he could be a playmaker this year. Great play by Darnell.
And he's another person, even though Puka's been overshadowing him this year, I mean, he's been another player that's actually been playing big, making big plays on offense and on defense. He's another guy you got to talk about on their team. He's been up there. He's been making his plays. He's been a very important part of the team.
Then we're going to have the next one as Animal Planet turns the ball over. They give the ball back to Reggie. Reggie throws a nice short pass to Swerve. Swerve runs it along the sideline. Touchdown to put them up 16-6. Great score by Reggie. He don't have to go downfield. He got a lot of guys that you get in the ball in space. Swerve, Puka, you get these guys, even Speedy, you get these guys the ball in space. They can make plays, which they do right here. Great touchdown.
And they're the best side of it too. Making points after the catch. They're one of the teams that are actually known for it. And they show right here that they're one of the best at it right now.
That's going to get Animal Planet the ball back. Unfortunately, not really to show nothing. Beto gets sacked by Will, forces Animal Planet to punt. Beto's receivers are not making plays for him. He's trying to do too much. He's not a mobile guy, and these guys are not getting open, which we seen him doing maybe a few weeks ago they were. He's not doing it here, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to end up punting, giving the ball back to Reggie. Now Reggie goes a deep touchdown pass to Puka to put them up 24-6. And Puka is dominant anytime he steps on the field. If it's offensively, if it's defensively, if it's special teams. When Puka get the ball, get ready to put your hands up for a touchdown, because that's all he's looking for.
And he knows who he is. He if you saw him on the field, he's wearing his All-Star shirt from last year. So he knows who he is. He knows what he does, and he's showing everybody else in this league what he's about, and he's pretty much about everything you can possibly talk about. Puka's done.
Animal Planet's going to have to punt the next series. They don't make plays, they have to punt. Reggie gets the ball back and throws a pass, but it's picked off by Preacher. Preacher 7 of the year. And the Browns finally make a mistake. Animal Planet is able to capitalize. Preacher, 7 interceptions. He plays linebacker. He plays a little safety. He's getting the numbers. Nobody's talking about him. But he's the reason that Animal Planet has made a turnaround this season. Great play by Preach.
And they need him to make plays like that. He's been making it right when they picked him up. He's done it. And no matter what team he's played against, no matter what quarterback is on the field, he shows that he's able to be a good defender, follow the ball, and make those plays. And he's been doing it all year.
That's going to give the ball back to Animal Planet. 2 plays later, we just seen this happen. The defense makes a play for the offense to get them the ball back, but then the quarterback throws the ball right back, which Beto does here, playing really uncharacteristic like. Try to say that 3 times fast. With the interception, back to the league's best player, Puka with the interception here. Beto cannot make throws like this. He does, and it costs him here.
I mean, this is something you can't afford, especially just giving it to their best defender right there. So it's just like you just handing over the ball. That was a bad throw, bad decision making. This is something that you can't afford against a team like the Browns. I mean, all you do is you give them more opportunities. All they're gonna do is score.
A few plays later, Reggie's able to throw another touchdown pass. This time finding Darnell for Darnell's 2nd touchdown in the game to put them up 34-6. This is just a laugher right now. Reggie's just not really taking this game serious. Browns are just having a good time. They're just smacking around Animal Planet, and they're going to go and take a big lead. Then Animal Planet gets the ball back, and Beto throws another interception to Puka. Puka's 2nd of the day, and you might as well just say, you know what? We want to give you the award because we're not playing very well, and it shows right here. Makes no sense. Why are you making this score? What are you trying to prove? They're not proving anything to me.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's the whole offense. You can't just only put it on Beto. He's not getting too much help out there. They're not, causing any separation with the defenders. They're not getting open. So Beto has no options, and it looks like he's trying to make something happen. And unfortunately, all that's happening is interceptions by Puka.
Then you're going to have Reggie get sacked by Wong. Another good play by Animal Planet. But it's pretty much over as Browns get stopped. They give the ball back to Animal Planet, but Beto makes another bad throw to Weeds for the interception. Weeds going to run it back for a touchdown to end the game, 38-6. Blowout. Animal Planet this game looked like the Animal Planet of last year. Didn't come in looking good. Started off with a touchdown, but that was pretty much it for the offense. Defense cannot slow down the Browns, and now the Browns go to 6-1, while Animal Planet falls to 2-5. Browns will have Reckless this week, while Animal Planet is 2-5. They got House Gang, and if they lose that game, they may not get a wild card spot. It's just not looking good. I think this was a big loss, and it really hurt Storm for Coach of the Year with this loss because this team was not.
This is
prepared.
2 games. This is 2 games that they couldn't afford to lose. I feel like the loss last week against Reckless was a worse loss than this one because that game, they had that game.
But it was close. You can't say it's a worse loss. Come on.
No, the reason why. Listen, it was close.
They was close. They lost.
Yes.
You say they got smacked. So how was that a worse loss?
Because this game, they didn't have no chance in this game. That's the difference. They had a chance with that Reckless game. Now that's 2 losses in a row where it could have been 1. Now they're fighting for their life is on the line right now. Where it could have been, oh, well, we have 1 loss, we have 1 win, we're still battling. Now they're almost out of it. They're gonna have to play a hungry House Gang that needs every game they could possibly get to get in the playoffs. So now they're both battling for a playoff spot. Who's gonna win? Only one team can win. So why put yourself in that position? They're in it right now. What can you say?
Well, I think they took a step back. You gotta blame Storm. He's a coach, and just like you give him the praise for turning the team around. Well, now you got to give him the criticism because now the team looks like the team of last year this game. And sometimes you take losses, but he has to find somebody in his offense to make plays. They don't have no offensive playmakers, and it's killing Beto. They made big plays against a young, unexperienced, and risky chance taker YMM. That was a big win. Other teams are not going to do that, and they're playing Beto deep, and he don't got receivers that can get behind anybody. No. So that's why this team is getting losses. And the Browns right now are looking dominant. But Pop told me, quote, I'm not worrying about the regular season. He said they went undefeated last year. They lost to go to the championship, and he's not caring, and the rest of the team is not caring about the regular season. They're trying to lock up that #1 seed. That way, they only have to play one game while the other two teams playing the wild card. That's what they're looking for, and they're not worrying about their regular season record. So this is another win, but they're not worrying about it. They're not worrying about the awards. They just worrying about getting this championship.
And I feel like that championship, that conference game that they lost last year, that division game that they lost to MV, kind of really told them that, you know what, that's not important because it doesn't make a difference because you didn't even go to the championship last year. They want that championship this year, and I feel like they're out there to get it.
We're going to have to see what happens with these teams next week. Next game up, underrated versus replacements. Underrated comes off of a bad loss to Ball So Hard, and they're 5-1. Replacements coming off of a big loss to Carver, but it was a good loss, meaning you don't want to ever say it's a good loss, but they fought Carver. This was one of Carver's hardest games, next to them Getters, that Carver won. So replacements played very well this game. They're 2-4, but they lost to Carver, but they played very well. But the only thing is coming to this game against underrated, they don't have no Hood. Hood is not playing this week. So you got to ask yourself, is that going to hurt them against a bad playing underrated team? What do you think?
I mean, at the end of the day, you never want to take a chance because underrated is a team that when they play well, you know, they can sneak a game from a lot of teams out here. So you don't want to underestimate them. But at the same time, you know, yes, they don't have Hood today. Hopefully Tess can pick up the slack and actually make something happen for them because this is a win that actually is important regardless of how you look at it.
Well, we're going to jump out to it. This game was not really competitive. It was basically being a laugher. The replacements doing anything they want. Tess, if you see it, he throws a touchdown pass to Michi to put them up 6-0. Sniper's not able to score because MJ drops the first down. As the offense don't look like they usually look. Sniper throws to MJ. MJ drops the ball. Underrated has to punt. Tess gets the ball again. Throws a touchdown pass to Anthony to put them up 14-0. Now replacements are rolling. They basically trying to smack underrated around. You know, 69 drops a pass. It's intercepted by Michi, and Michi runs it back for a touchdown to put them up 22-0. Now we're starting to get into a laugher. Snapper throws a pass to Randall, and they're finally moving the ball. Finally something to talk about now. But then he throws an interception to Anthony to give the ball right back to replacements. As Anthony pitched it to Michi. Michi runs it for the touchdown. Another run back to give him a 28-0 lead. And Sniper came into this game playing well. You know, he wasn't lights out, but he played decent. Dink and Duck, his receivers haven't been helping him, but he's been trying to carry them. He didn't look good this game. He tried to do too much. He tried to make too many plays, and he ended up making interceptions that end up getting take back for touchdowns. So here we're going to see Sniper throw a nice touchdown pass to MJ downfield. Finally something to talk about. MJ with the catch. MJ made the All-Star team last year. Sniper with a good throw, puts some in the game, 28-7. But then Tess throws a nice touchdown pass to Steve-O to give him a 33-7 lead. Tess will end up getting the ball back to throw another a short pass to B-Dot, who runs it down the sideline for a touchdown and give this team the win, 39-7. Blowout win. They came in and came out, knew this team was 1-5, knew that they could get a quick win. They did exactly that, and now replacements go to 3-4. Great win by replacements, and they have a big game this week coming up against Ball So Hard. Great play by replacements, turning around the season, trying to make it into the playoffs.
And right now, they have the third spot right now. They're in the third. They're in third in the division right now. They have to beat Ball So Hard in the next game because they're fighting for that spot. Ball So Hard is right underneath them. If they lose, that can put Ball So Hard right where they need to be in that third spot. So who knows what's going to happen? This is a big game for both teams.
Underrated is 1-6. They definitely took a step backwards. They went to the wild card last year and won that wild card game. Losing to the Browns in the second round, but they won the wild card game. And right now, they don't look good at all. I think they're eliminated from the playoff run. But they have 3 games left. They got Evo, Animal Planet, and MV. They can make it hard for other teams. If they could be Evo, if they could be Animal Planet, they make it hard for other teams. So my thing is, if I'm not having fun, misery loves company. So if I'm not having a good year and I'm not going to playoffs, I'm trying to do something to make you not go to the playoffs. I'm trying to do something to make you have to work harder to get into the playoffs. So I think that's what this underrated team needs to shoot for. You had a bad season. Don't tank the season. Try to ruin it for other teams. End it on a good note.
I mean, at the end of the day, one of the guys told me on the field during this game that how can you win games when you don't have guys coming to show up for the games? You know, they have 7 guys. They barely had enough guys to play this game, so they felt like there's not a lot of commitment this year. There's not a lot of guys that's actually out there making things happen. They're not consistently being at the game and committing like they were last year. I don't know what it is. Their vibe is different. They're not playing well. And
what about Robert?
Robert wasn't even there this game.
He was there last week.
Yes.
They make it this
so
week.
these are a lot of things that were different this year than last year, and I feel like they're not the same team this year, and their record is showing that.
And replacements, listen, people was laughing at him. People thought that Debo was crazy. Why would Hood leave a championship team where he was a number 3 quarterback? And he's showing us. Right now, Hood is up there for Comeback Player of the Year. And we call the award the Kendisha Price Comeback Player of the Year because our niece passed away. And we looked at it as an opportunity. Our family used the tragedy and used the bad time in our lives. And we turned it around and able to make it a positive by using her to motivate us for future things in life. We had more kids, you know, and we use the tragedy and make it into a positive. And that's why we named the award after her. You know, Hood had a bad year last year. He barely played. And this year he's turning around. He got his team on board. You know, he wasn't here today, but he's been playing well when he has been there, which gives him opportunity to win the award. Another player is Pig, who's up there for it. Another player is Preacher. So we got a lot of guys that's up there for the award. We're going to give it to the best player. But I think it's a great award, and we're going to honor her that way by giving her her own award.
I mean, you said it. There's nothing else I could say. I agree with you, and that's the point right there.
Well, like he said, replacement have a big game versus Ball So Hard. A playoff.
Well, if we look ahead, we have 2 big games for replacements. They play Ball So Hard for a division game, but they also play NV the next game after that. So that's another huge game that they have to play. D-Boy actually playing his ex-team, him and Hood, actually returning to actually prove that them splitting from this team was a good idea and sneaking a win from NV. That would be huge for them.
Yeah, but now they might need this game to get in the playoffs.
Yes, so I feel it's just as important.
Yes. So we're going to have to see what happened on the underrated, maybe fishing early. We're going to see it's 3 more games left. We'll just see what happens. Next game up, a goodie. House Gang versus Reckless. Both teams wanted this game. Both teams are in the big division. And both teams come off wins off of teams in their division. Reckless beating Animal Planet in overtime. House Gang beating Raw. House Gang are 3-3 coming into this game. Hands down. I'll book it right now. Book it. Best defense in the league.
And I agree.
No defense in this league is better than this team's defense. You got to call a spade a spade. They got the best defense in the league. And they say the best team. The best defense in the league. Because they also have
one of the worst offenses in the league. I mean, regardless of who you put in front, the point is, you know, as of right now, they haven't been putting up points. You know, they had a few points in the last game against Raw, but is it enough to say that they're not one of the worst offenses in the league? I don't know.
The question before was, is Mike holding this offense back? Mike Santos was their former quarterback. You know, they lost close games. They won close games, but they wasn't really able to move forward as a championship team. And they say that Mike is the one holding it back. They put in Lou. A lot of y'all guys that don't know, Lou is Chuck's son. He was there the first 2 weeks. Mike wouldn't let him throw. I don't know what if Mike. Sources tell me Mike felt if he wasn't the problem. Then finally, Mike was the big man, stepped down and allowed Lou to throw. But Lou is a more athletic quarterback, better arm. Offense still ain't showing me nothing. So everybody wants to blame Mike Santos, saying he's the problem, he's the problem. It's the offense. And I look at this offense, and they don't scare me. JP is dangerous, but he's not a downfield guy. You know, he's not going to blow by nobody. And the guy does not run routes to open other people up. Herman disappeared. I haven't seen him all year. He had 1 touchdown last year. Has not seen the end zone this year. So that's 2. They have Choo Choo starting, who looked decent this game, but he's not. He's a young guy. If you're dependent on him to take you to the next level, you're in trouble. Rudy is a quarterback, a backup quarterback. They have him on offense. He makes plays here and there. He's not explosive downfield. He has the speed, but he's not connecting with the quarterback to go downfield. They have Eric. Eric is a good slot receiver. Is he dominant? No. He's a slot receiver who makes plays here and there, not consistent. I could go down the line. They have Anthony, who can't even get on the field. You know what I mean? So he don't really help them with nothing. And it looks more like the defense has to play offense. Pig has to come in. Swagger got to come in. And once you start doing that consistently, you're going to kill your defense. Once Mookie has to come in off that, Smoke has to come in, this team is in trouble. They need to have Josh on that offense. And I seen Dewey there a few weeks ago. They need Dewey's experience, his size in his offense, because this offense right now is producing nothing. And it's not the quarterbacking situation because Lou has not taken his team to the next level offensively.
No, and I feel like if you don't have a proper offense that can put points on the board, it doesn't matter how great your defense is. You're not going to win games. And that's the bottom line.
I haven't seen so many guys celebrating, talking about, we got the best defense. But if you don't get into the playoffs,
then it doesn't matter.
What's the point? I mean, you got the best numbers, but if you're not getting a championship, what is the point? So I think this team have their mission all mixed up.
Priorities.
Yeah, the priorities are all mixed up. They don't know what they're doing. I think Swag and Mike need to sit down at the head and say, these next 3 games, count this, these next 4 games, we need to decide who we are. On the other hand, Reckless has won 4 in a row. They've been doing what they've done, and nobody can stop Mimi. Mimi's been killing everybody. So we're going to have to see if this more the same. And the offense, I guess the Harris complaining. They started off good with Lou moving the ball. He's able to find JP for the touchdown, 7-0. JP's the only one in this offense to talk about. He's been playing well. He's definitely an all-star in my book. Great play by JP, 7-0.
And this is one person that's actually been doing it all season when he's given the opportunity to. He's very dangerous when it comes to making sure he gets open. He knows how to open himself up,
especially in the red zone.
Yes, he knows how to get open. He knows how to make that play when it counts. This has been JP from last year. So I feel like he's one person on the offense that has been relatively consistent and you have to watch out for.
How Reckless gets the ball back. Pig gets this blitz. Bug gets sacked by Smoke. Great play by Pig. That's an all-Pig blitz. Pig been playing well. He's definitely an all-star in my pick, and he's definitely up there for comeback play of the year. The guy played on one leg, came back. We've seen him work out. We've seen him play. He told us he wasn't retiring. He's making big plays to help this house gang team go to the next level.
And this is one of the schemes that they run. Pig lowers the quarterback into Smoke's rushing in at 4 by the blitz, and I feel like that's a scheme to run. Pig probably doesn't have a lot of sacks, but he causes a lot of sacks to be made by Smoke, so you give credit to Pig that play.
Well, great play by them. They're going to cause Reckless to have to punt. Great play by this house gang's defense to get the ball back. They're going to get the ball back to Lou, but Lou's going to get sacked here. This is a bad sack. Ronnie with the great sack. You put a fast ball game. We seen Lou run around last week against Raw. You know, Eddie couldn't keep up with him. You know, them defense can't keep up with him. Not the same against Reckless. No. Reckless got a fast ball giver. And Ronnie here with the great sack definitely can keep up with Lou. Now House can't got problems because Lou can't be mobile against this team.
And I feel like that's an effective switch. Now they have Black out there in the secondary, you know, making some coverage, making some plays happen out there. And Ronnie's able to keep up with a lot of these quarterbacks now. I feel that's an effective switch because it shuts down Lou's running game.
Lou's going to end up throwing an interception 2 plays there, the prodigy. You see, you keep this guy in the pocket. You don't let him get outside. You don't let him run. And I think my problem with Lou is he does not want a blocker. He feels he can beat everybody. He tries to make moving routes, and his receivers don't look off the line. So now you look at it this way. You got a quarterback who's trying to scramble and doesn't want a blocker, but you have receivers that don't look back. So by you going down and your guy running back, eventually he's going to get caught because the receivers are not looking back. They're not coming back to the ball.
Yes, and that's twice the amount of time lost because now you have the receivers that have to take time to look back at the quarterback, and now you have yourself with no blocker. You can't create time because you have the ball giver that's able to keep up with you. And I feel like that's not a good recipe for a good offense.
Well, Reckless gets the ball back. Remember, they're down 7-0, and Bug throws 3 deep bombs that all get stopped. And we've seen Bug able to keep teams in this game because Bug, if you look at here, he's just throwing the ball. He's not. I don't know if he's looking for Mimi, who he's looking for. He just drops back and in his head said, "I'm going deep." He doesn't even know where he's throwing, and he just throws it three times. The team's gonna have to happen a punt. I wouldn't know. I don't know if this is great defense by House Gang's defense or just careless play by Bug on the offense.
But we've seen Bug do this. We've seen Bug do this last year. This is just Bug's playing style. He likes to go for the home run, and unfortunately, it doesn't work out. More chances than not, it's not going to work out. So these are risks that he likes to take. Unfortunately, it doesn't move the ball and they have to punt.
Lou's going to get the ball back, but he's almost going to get picked off here by Black. Lou is not the savior. Everybody thought Lou was going to be the savior of House Gang. We've seen this guy make mistakes. We've seen him against Raw throw an interception to Eddie that Eddie took back for a touchdown. So he's not the savior. So anybody that thinks that because they got Chuck's son and he's not a starting quarterback, that he's automatically going to get the team to a championship, needs to look at the standings because he's not looking at the best. He's definitely a playmaker. He definitely could do some things. But until this kid grows up and decides what made his father dominant, he's not going to go nowhere. He's just going to be raw talent that gets nowhere. And you see here as he almost throws the interception to Black. Next pass is tipped by Ronnie. House Gang will end up having a punt. Once again, we see this House Gang offense not able to move the ball.
And this has been the story of this season. I mean, their offense is not able to put up any points. They're not giving their defense a chance to rest up. All they're doing is they're not moving the ball. They're turning over the ball and they're putting their defense back on the field to try to make another play. And eventually, your defense gets exhausted if they keep coming on the field so soon.
House Gang defense has to come back on the field. We're gonna unfortunately catch the backside of this play, but if you see it, it's Swagger getting an easy blitz for the sack on Bug. Bug is not moving. So when you got a strong guy with Swagger with a quick step, he's going to get an easy sack. Great play by Swagger. And I think Swagger has compromised his numbers. He went to the All-Star game last year. He definitely was up there for Defensive Player of the Year last year. And I think he compromised his numbers because he's trying to take this defense to a next level. So he's playing more of, he's not really as physical. He's not, meaning he's not really roaming. He's taking more responsibility to open it up for Pig. That's why we seen Pig have a better season. Pig is doing now what we saw Swag do last year.
I mean, and I feel like at the end of the day, he doesn't have to be dominant by himself because his whole defense is actually doing well. So I feel like he wants that whole defensive scheme to work. And I feel like he's stepping back a little bit and letting other guys take over and be aggressive. And I feel it's effective relatively.
We're going to see the next play. Bug is going to try to throw a pass. He's going to get tipped by Smoke and get is an incomplete pass that's going to cause Reckless to punt. Great play by Smoke to help this team get the ball back. If you see here, Lou throws a nice pass to Rudy as the House Gang offense is finally starting to move the ball. Lou with a nice pass to Rudy. Next play, Lou scrambles around and throws it deep and is almost intercepted. We've seen him do this before. We've seen him throw this nice scramble, throw a nice pass to JP, but what makes you laugh, makes you cry, we also see him throw this play and get picked off and get incomplete. Here it's almost intercepted. He's going to take us into halftime, 7-0, House Gang with the lead. But I don't think you can hold Reckless because even though Buck has a habit of keeping other teams in the game, he also has a habit of finding touchdowns. And the great thing I have to say about House Gang's defense, no Mimi. They shut Mimi down in the first half. They put a lot of two-man coverages on him. They put a lot of guys following him in the pocket. Great play.
But I want to say this. In the half, this is one time where your offense is supposed to take opportunities and make plays and put points on the board. Why? Because as long as these guys on the field, you don't want to give them a chance to get a vibe going and start putting points on the board where your team can't score. Because then, where are you going to go? Your defense is making plays, but you stagnate because your offense is not scoring. So this is the time to start picking up where you need to because eventually your defense is not going to hold forever.
Well, we're going to see Ball get the ball back second half, and he's going to connect with Mimi for a touchdown to put them back in the game, 8-7. Great throw by Bug, finding Mimi. You're not going to shut this guy down all game. He's going to find a way to get open, and he got a one-on-one great touchdown play by Mimi.
And this is one thing that I pointed out early in the season. This is one of the problems that House Gang has. Yes, they have the best defense in the league, but there's ways to get around their defense. There's ways to get through their defense. And one way to get through this defense is to attack Rudy. Rudy's been one person that's been showing weakness in the backfield, And right here, Mimi, what he does is he has a delayed route where he kicks it up a notch in the middle of his route, and this is how he's able to get behind Mimi, behind Rudy, surprise him, and get this touchdown pass. This is Vincent's Mimi throughout the season, and Rudy wasn't able to pick it up.
That's gonna give him a 8-7 lead. House Gang offense gets the ball back, but Lou was sacked here by Ronnie. It's either Ronnie or Wani. One of them two. I think it's Ronnie with the sack, and Warner's gonna get the sack the next play to cause House Gang to punt. So regardless of the order of the sacks, I'm not sure of the order. The point is, Lou gets sacked twice on this drive. Once again, we see him not able to move the ball, doesn't want blockers, gets sacked.
And I think that was Wangi.
Wangi, that's who it was.
Yes.
Wangi gets the sack. So you got Ronnie and Wangi both with sacks. Once again, we see Lou doesn't really want blockers. He wants to do it himself. Not able to do it. Hey, that's what you want. They turn the ball over. I mean, they're going to have to punt. And we don't see anything, once again, from this House Gang
Whatever
offense.
it is, their offense is not working.
And we see this on the next play. Mimi gets a step on Rudy. The pass is incomplete. But he had to step on Rudy. Just talked about Rudy getting beat. He got beat here again. But luckily for him, it was incomplete.
I mean, this is something this is a hole in their defense. You know, yes, you can say that they have the best defense in the league, but as long as you have one little weakness and your offense is not scoring, this is how they're going to make points on your defense. This is something that you have to fix, because eventually, if it's a meaningful game, like in the future, if you're battling for the playoff spot or you're in the playoffs, this is going to hurt you. And that's all I can say about that.
You attack him because everybody knows the best defensive player on this House Gang defense is Mookie. He's the best shutdown one-on-one guy. I don't understand why they didn't put Mookie straight up to guard Mimi, which Swagger told me. I guess he was blowing low smoke, because I didn't see Mimi being guarded by Mookie at all. And the second half,
the thing about it is Mimi shifts.
Yes.
He doesn't stay in one spot, so you can't expect him to be lined up.
So you move Mookie. I'm putting Mookie
shift him.
wherever Mimi's going. I know that's his best receiver. I got Mookie. Mookie's my shutdown guy. He's my money guy. I'm gonna make him earn his money, and I'm gonna put him.
And
on
you don't
the
think Reckless knows who Mookie is already?
They didn't throw at him.
They already know who he is, so they know to shift Mimi and their receivers away from him. So it's not really working right now.
And what happens here? That play was incomplete as Rudy got beat by Mimi. Ball comes back to Mimi in the middle and attacks Pig and Swag. And I think also, you want to beat this team, you attack their safeties and you attack their linebackers. The linebackers are physical. They are. But they're not great cover guys. Swag is not a cover guy. He's more of a physical, roam the middle. And Pig is more of a physical guy, but he's still not 100%. You want to beat House Gang, you want to beat that defense, you attack Rudy over the top, or you attack their linebackers underneath. That's what I think you do to beat this defense, and that's what pretty much what Reckless was doing. The next pass, they're going to throw a touchdown pass to Prodigy. There was no talking between Swag and Mookie, which is a shame because them two are supposed to be the brains of the defense. Them two are supposed to be the shutdown guys, and I think they don't talk. Mookie's not a talker. Mookie doesn't talk. Swag is not great in coverage. That's the chemistry. That's the recipe for disaster. And Reckless is able to score to put them on 14-7.
I felt like Mookie let the guy let Prodigy pass him. I guess because he was picking up somebody else in front of him. I think Sticky was there, so he was picking up Sticky. He let Prodigy pass by him, thinking that somebody behind him was going to pick him up.
So we see that Mookie is human. So you got your corner, who's a lockdown receiver, go to pick up a running back, tight end, and leave a wide receiver open in Prodigy, when he was supposed to slide off the running back to Swagger and pick up the wide receiver.
And this is the whole weakness, no communication. Because if you talk, then you would have Swagger say, okay, take the up man, I'll take the deep guy. Or you go with the deep guy, I will stay and pick up the running back, which is more of an effective way of switching. Swag will be able to stay with Sticky, while Mookie would be able to follow Prodigy into the end zone. None of that happened, and that's why they got past both.
Well, it's 14-7 now, and I mean, we're getting on their defense, but they only gave up 14 points.
Yes, so
and their offense ain't
these
scoring.
are things. Yes, these things happen. These are little weaknesses that their defense may have, but it shouldn't really matter because your offense should be putting up points and changing the whole momentum of the team of the game, and it's not happening.
Well, we're gonna see House Gang try to get the ball back, down 14-7. They need to score. They need to score. Lou moves the ball. You see him moving the ball. Great moves by Lou to move the ball, spread the ball out. He throws a play to JP for the touchdown, but it's broken up by Prodigy as this is a turnover. Now JP to me didn't come back for the ball. You want to be pizzazz, you want to be the man, you want to be the go-to guy, but you as a receiver, you got to know to come back to the ball. Doesn't come back to the ball, it's broken up, turnover, gives the ball back to Reckless, Bug runs for a big gain because he wasn't going to throw the ball. He's able to end the game. Reckless gets the win, 14-7. Once again, House Gang only scores one touchdown. They hold Reckless to 14 points,
yes,
but they only score 7 points. This is not working.
No. At the end of the day, you can talk about your defense. You can have them shine from Mount Olympus or whoever. Doesn't matter because your offense cannot score. You're not winning games with your offense. And you can brag about your defense all you want, but you're still getting laughed at because you're not getting the wins.
Sources tell me that the offensive defensive battles already started. You have the defense mumbling, talking, as any man would do. I've been a part of teams that went through this, and they talking and watching and they saying, what more can we do? We're not going to be perfect. 14 points. And they starting to talk already. You know, and I don't know how is that going to pass on to Lou, who's a new guy on this offense. He's a new quarterback, but maybe they put him too much pressure. They worried about a quarterback and didn't get him any weapons because besides JP, this offense does not scare me, which is why they got the record they got. Hands down, it's not the defense. This offense does not scare me. Herman has disappeared. Eric is not really a playmaker. Who else? You got Choo Choo in your starting lineup. Anthony can't get on the field.
You know what? And
you got Dewey on the sideline not playing.
Think about it. And then
Josh Bailey playing.
Yes. And then they don't even use Anthony to see how well he can do with the
Well, he's not gonna be a savior.
No, but the point is, any type of help you can get, you use. Any type of offense that you can get as an assistance to that, you use. The point is, if you look at it, besides a win against Raw, the only game that they won was a game that they won 6-0
against the Generals.
Against the Generals, 6-0. You can't count the bye, so you only look at it as this. Your offense is not helping you. That's it. Quarterback or not, nothing is working right now. You can't expect Lou to come and change around everything when you already had problems on your offense. Your receivers are not running the proper routes. They're not getting open the way they need to. They're not helping the quarterback. Only one person's effective, and that's JP. You lock up him, what else? Where else are you going?
You get 7 points. That's what you get. And I mean, listen, like I said, Swagger and Mike gotta pay attention to this video because they have the next 3 games. They gotta win all. Or we're still not getting into the playoffs.
And at the end of the day, yes, they got to win every game, but then their destony's not only in their hands anymore.
They need help.
With this game that they lost, now they need help from other teams. They need help from the team that just beat them. You know, I mean, how does that even sound? You know? That should hurt your pride that you want this team to lose now. It shouldn't even have to be that way. You're supposed to earn your wins and earn yourself a playoff spot, not wait for the next team to lose. Now you're in that position. Well, you didn't have to be.
We're going to see. We knew it was going to come back sooner or later. And Reckless has won 5 in a row, like they did last year.
And you know what? They gave it to me. They told me that, you know what, they beat the teams in front of them. They said they were going to win 5 in a row. They proved it to me. They won regardless of who was in front of them. They got their wins. They're in the stride to take their division now. You know,
they got the Browns this week, and that win will give them first place in the division.
So that's a tough game right there, an important game. We'll see if they can make their winning streak to 6 in a row. You know, they definitely needed to take that number 1 seed. And
we actually got an interview.
Yes.
Let's check the interview right now. We got Horse on the side talking, and we also have Mimi that's going to talk more of like a Shermanator from Seattle. You're going to see if you put them together. Maybe I could get Ghost to put their little ramps together on the side by side to see who you pick for the most craziest player.
Settle down. This ain't no gym, but when you talking, you better walk it. And y'all did all the talking, and we walked it. Right. Get out of here. Where you going to say? 1, 2, 3, Reckless! We're not going nowhere. Where you at, Brad?
Here we
John with the big win over House Gang.
Did y'all take the token as disrespect?
Nah, not as disrespect. That's just they wanted it like we wanted. You know, at the end of the day, I know a lot of them. We go a long way. It's a lot of history. Talk is talk, but when you get in between the lines, you gotta play the game. At the end of the day, we're here.
You won 5 games in a row. Nobody's talking about you, but y'all won 5
We
in a
don't
row.
even want nobody talking about us. I do the talking for us. We here. We looking for them right there. Them dudes that hold what we want. Cause last year we were supposed to be there.
One more question.
You know
What does Mimi bring to your team this year, which y'all didn't have last year?
The positives is that he's a ball player. He goes all out. The negatives is that my quarterback is in love with that nigga and there's 6 other niggas on the offense that want the rock and we don't get the rock. But you know what? As long as that plays like he plays for Carver Mob, he's good, and that's it. Reckless.
5 in a row.
We see y'all
here. 5 in a row. Reckless.
Hey, we dropped
Mimi, I gotta ask you one question.
They dropped the all.
How did you feel when they said that their plan was to shut you down?
I'm a beast. Beast, I am. That's all I gotta say, a beast, alright? MVP, I'm taking it automatically, MVP.
You didn't look like you had it in the first half. What did you change in the second half to make you have a better game second half?
What I changed? The attitude. That's what happens. Once you put the attitude, mother, it's a rap, alright? For fear.
All right, we out of here, y'all. Now we're back. You see Mimi, you know, when you break it all down, he feels he's unguardable. He knew what they were doing the first half. Once him and Bug figured it out, second half they couldn't stop him. They only put up 14 points, but Mimi had a better second half.
Yeah, he did what he needed. He got that 1 touchdown, a couple plays here and there. The point is, whenever he needed to be effective, he was. So I don't call that stopping him. You know, of course, you reduced his game in the first half. That was good, but the point is, you didn't completely stop him.
Now,
you know?
Now Reckless is gonna be 5-2 coming into against the Browns. House Gang is 3-4. Have to play Animal Plan. They gotta win this game. They need this game. They need help, but you know what? You start off one at a time, and you try to get this win. And you hope Reckless loses against the Browns. But we'll see what happens next week. The game that everybody been waiting for. You have a defending champs, MV, versus YMM. A rematch of the championship. We see little differences in the roster, but it's a rematch of the championship.
And I feel like this is a game that both teams have been anticipating. MV was ready to show why they won the championship and that they can beat this team again, just like they did in the championship. YMM was trying to prove that them going to the championship wasn't a fluke and that they can beat this NV team. You know, they're not intimidated by them. And they could take their game right back to them and win this game. So both teams had a lot to prove. Both teams were anticipating coming home with a win. And I felt like they were both feeling the tension for this game.
The craziest thing about this is, in the rematch of the championship, MV didn't have none of their 3 quarterbacks.
No.
They didn't have Fred. Yomi's out for the year. They didn't have Yomi. And Hood plays for replacements.
Yes.
So they didn't have none of their 3 quarterbacks.
No.
And on the other side, YMM didn't have their starting quarterback for the championship.
Nope.
It looks like they scrapped the Ralph plan, which I don't think was a good idea.
Not right. Not at this point.
I'm a Ralph fan. I love what Ralph gives you.
Well, you was talking about they were going to pull a trigger.
Yes, I said it was going to happen.
I said that they shouldn't, and I didn't believe it. They did.
They did. I don't think it was a good time to do it.
No.
And they did it. So now Nelson's their starter.
But not only that, they're missing Jeremy again.
Yes.
Just like in the championship game, where they missed him in the first half, he's not here for this game. So he's one of their guys that gives this team energy. He brings the heat. I feel like they're a stronger team with him there.
Yes.
Just his presence alone.
Yes.
And he's a tenacious defender as well. That's another thing that a lot of people don't talk about. He's a good defender. He was one of the guys that was crucial to them beating Reckless in the playoffs last year. Him by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So him being there changes the game. They didn't have him this game. So they may even be a different team this game.
So I guess we're just going to jump right into the game and start up. Like we said, Fred is not here. He's not quarterbacking. Joey gets the start. Joey throws a deep pass to Normal on first down, but it's broken up by Roger. Roger is, like I said before, the James Harden of his team. he has to step up and make plays, especially with Jeremy not here. I think based on his play, decides if this team gets into the championship or not, or even gets to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I feel like they need him to be effective. They need him to be that third guy who's, you know, the main person, you know, putting points on the board and actually making plays on defense as well. They need those three guys to be consistent. Without that, they're not the same team.
Rico's gonna blitz here to get the sack on Joey. Great blitz by Rico. He's been having a good year. He's definitely an all-star. You know, nobody really talks about him enough. This guy does so much for this team. He's their leader. He helps score touchdowns. He gets sacks. He gets interceptions. He's one of the smallest guys on the team, but he has the biggest heart. And he's the only guy besides Caesar I think can control Jeremy. So we got to put our hats off to him. That guy's been playing great. But the next 2 plays later, Joey's going to find Nut in the end zone for the touchdown over Roger. Roger was not able to make the play. Touchdown here by Nut. Bad coverage by Roger. Next play after that, Nelson gets the ball back and he's sacked by Sean. This team had a plan coming in against MV, and they're gonna show how to stop this quarterback from moving around, rolling around, and making plays.
I feel like that's key right now. You know, they have to attack Nelson early. They have to keep him from being so mobile, running around. They have to keep him in the pocket, keep him, make him beat you with his arm. Because right now, he doesn't look as consistent as at least on that play. So this is something that they may have to do throughout the game.
Nelson's gonna get blitzed and sacked on the next play by Ricky. Great sack by Ricky. They keep Nelson in the pocket, not allow him to escape. Great play by this team. The next play after that, Nelson's gonna fall down and get sacked by Sean. He's already having problems. He's looking undecisive. Don't really know. Look like he's confident, and this team is definitely keeping him out of scrambling. Joey's gonna get he's gonna get the ball back for MV. He's gonna get his pass tipped and intercepted by Kill Bill. But it was a flag on the giver. There was no giver there. It's gonna end up giving the ball back, so the interception don't count. You can't make these mistakes if you're lineman.
No, and they can't afford these mistakes because this could have changed the whole momentum of the game. You know, all you're doing right now is you're giving better field position and another opportunity to score. This could have went the other way. Unfortunately, it was taken back away from them. Now MV has another opportunity to put points on the board.
Which they do with Joey finding baby for the touchdown to put them up 14-0. They didn't get the intel. They give the ball back to MV and they end up scoring. YMM once again ain't able to score. They're gonna get stopped. Joey gets the ball back for MV and he's gonna get sacked by Johnny. Great D by YMM. Turning it up, trying to keep the game close to give the ball back to Nelson for Nelson can make some throws. MV's gonna end up punting on that series, but YMM also punts the ball back. Joey's gonna throw an interception to Rico. Hey, you're the best player on the team. You gotta make plays, and Rico gets an interception for YMM to give the ball back to that offense. Nelson's gonna throw a nice pass to Brown. Brown is a good player. He's not an explosive game changing play, I don't think. I think he has the ability to get there with Caesar coaching, but this kid got a lot of heart. He makes plays.
I mean, these are the guys that they need to make the plays and step up whenever they need to. Whenever you got guys like Jeremy that's missing during your game or whatever, you need guys like Brown, as you see here, Jesse. You need guys to step up, Delman. You need all of these guys because they all have talent and they have the ability to take it to the next level. They're just not there yet. These are times when they need to because it'll benefit their team.
Rico's going to catch the pass on this next play. Great play by Rico. He's stepping up to try to help the team get the win. Nelson makes this throw and it's almost intercepted by AK. Ak is a great player, AK. I just love his game. He's a linebacker that plays like a safety. The guy can be all over the field. And YMM, because of that play, is not able to score before the half. They're going to go into the half 14-0.
YMM does not look like the team that they usually are. You know, they're not scoring, they're not moving the ball. Nelson seems uncertain out there. He seems nervous. I don't know if there's a lot of pressure on him. You know, a lot of talk was talked about with the whole Carver game that they won. I feel like a lot of pressure came into this game and he wasn't ready for it.
Nelson's gonna get sacked by AK, by Ak, about AK, which is Ak,
yes,
on the 4 rush. And MV would use Ak as a spy.
Yes.
And this is very crucial. As you can see, he couldn't really go anywhere. And it's not about Ak I say it?
Necessary.
Trying to get a sack. He's just trying to get this kid to make a bad throw. Because once he see, I can run down the quarterback. He can run him down. So he can't escape him. And that's why I think this was genius, and I think other teams need to do it with the quarterback spy. It's genius. It stops these mobile quarterbacks from running, and it's just great all around. That's going to give the ball back to MV. Joey throws a nice pass to number 21 Cito for the first down. But Joey's not Fred. And Joey's going to throw a bad pass here to get it intercepted by Brown. Like we just talked about Brown. Brown's a great player. Gets a pick to give Wyman back the ball.
And this is key right now because they have him in scoring. They need every opportunity they could possibly get. And they give Nelson another opportunity to score. Hopefully he capitalizes this time.
And then you see right now, Nelson gets the ball back. And he's unable to move the ball. And once again, he tries to throw deep and it's incomplete because MV kept a spy again to keep her from running. And once again, the kid makes a bad throw. Great strategy. Love the defense. Love the setup. And they worked out brilliant for this team. YMM is going to end up turning over the ball. Joey gets the ball back and he's going to throw a touchdown pass to Nut to put them up 22-0. Nelson will end up finding Kill Bill for a touchdown to put them not in the game, but put them on the board 22-6. The game is going to end 22-6. Great win by MV without their starting quarterback, without their backup quarterback, without their third string quarterback. They end up getting a big win. Great win for MV. And MV goes to 6-1. People talk about Carver 7-0. People talk about IOD 6-1. People talk about Brown 6-1. Nobody's talking about the defending champions who are 6-1. What can you say? They're defending their title.
Yes, they're defending their title and they're doing it quietly. They're getting all the jobs. They getting everything that they need to do done. They're not doing it flashy. They know their jobs and they're very effective at them. They play very solid defense. We cannot count their defense out. We have to add their defense into that argument of who's the best, who's there, who's a contender, because they're a contender in every part of every definition of the word. You know, they've been playing well. The only thing that hasn't been consistent is their quarterback. You know, it's always been a different quarterback going through throughout the season. It's always been something different. You know, unfortunately, Fred hasn't been able to make it for every game. But the point is, whoever has come to the quarterback has done their job. And that's all that matters. The only game that they lost to, like the Getters, before they lost their second loss, was to Carver. That's the only loss that they had, and they lost 17-0. They just couldn't move the ball. So my point is, they're not being talked about because they're not being the flashy, blow-away team that they were last year.
Yeah.
They're getting their job done, and they're doing it under the radar. And that's something that's scary. To have the defending champions 6-1 and not be talked about, something's wrong with that picture.
I agree with you 110%. But now they come in a big game against the Getters. You know, they get a 5-2 team that's looking to turn it around and jump back into it. And, you know, they got to have their quarterback. Because I don't think they win without their quarterback. And YMM is just out of control right now. They fall 4-3. They were a favorite to win the East. They're no longer a favorite to win the East. You got Browns, ILD, you know, that people are talking about. And I think right now, YMM is in trouble. Season needs to reset the team. They have 3 games left, you know, and this is going to decide their season. What happens with this team? They most likely are locked for the wild card. But they may play the Generals in, and I'm not guaranteed that they can beat the Generals. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to see what happens. I think this team has problems. I think we have a lot of big games coming up this week. Ghost is going to hopefully set up the game, the All-Star teaser. We'll show you what we did last year. You know, same thing. We're going to have a teaser, show you the guys. That's definite All-Stars. That doesn't mean the whole All-Star team is picked. We're just going to have a teaser of the guys we know that's definitely in. And we'll show the award winners, the guys who's up there for awards, because that's interesting too.
I feel like, you know, these guys should be talked about at this point. You know, we already noticed them. They're the front runners for the awards. They're definitely all-stars, and we're actually going to single out some of the guys, not every single one, but the ones that I feel or we feel that have been noticed the most, have been talked about the most, has been the most effective so far. And, you know, well, I'm going to put something together, you know, to show off and showcase, you know, those certain guys as of right now.
So that'll be up next week.
Yeah, yeah. That'll, I'm pretty sure I'll have that as like an intro, or probably little videos in between the games that we talk about. You know, I'll set it up a certain way so that you can see it. You know, something just to get the guys recognized, to get you talking at least for right now, to see if these guys can't be brought back down by other guys who can step up and take up that spot from them. Who knows?
Well, we're gonna wrap up the show. We're gonna give a little honor to Martin Luther King. It was his birthday this week on Monday, and we just hope that everybody enjoyed the day off. But know the reason why we had that day off. You know what this man has done for everybody. You know, not just the black community, the Hispanic community. You know what I mean? The white community. You know, the way this man inspired people and gave his life in order for us to be able to be given the opportunities we have now is a great, great, great honor, you know, for us to be able to celebrate his birthday. So it goes to wrap up the show with one of his speeches. You know, we hope y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully we can show a few things. We didn't want to get into it too much because we're going to have like a Black History Month. And we're going to take interviews for players on the field. We try to switch it up every year, try to have a little different thing. We definitely want to show our respects to what Martin Luther King has done for us. So on that, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm Stephen J.
And I'm Ghost.
We hope y'all enjoy y'all week. Get ready for big, big, big football in the UFL Saturday.
No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I have hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal in position and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed.